I talked to him. He said that. I said, "Oh, here's well, we've been having warm weather, this weather is out long. Some of the deer, he's heard people talk.
No, I don't. Not anymore. I won't even.
You don't see them.
No, no,
Yeah,
not one I
they
can.
do.
It's time to get the meeting started. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. And roll call, please. Councilmember Yancey, Councilmember Miller. Here. Councilmember Hilliker,
Here.
Councilmember Turner,
Here.
Councilmember Raines. Here. Councilmember Vickers. Here. Councilmember Dawson.
Here.
Councilmember Draper.
Here.
Mayor. Here. I'm here. Okay, can we stand for the pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, guide our hearts, minds, and our souls. Let your will be done in this city. Amen. Meeting minutes, City Council meeting, October 27th, 2025. Mayor DeLaire called the meeting to order at 5:59 PM. Roll call was taken. All council members were present. The mayor, recorder treasurer, and the city attorney were also present. All stood for the pledge of allegiance and Mayor DeLaire performed the invocation prayer. The meeting minutes from City Council meeting September 22nd, 2025 were read by the recorder treasurer. Motion to accept the minutes was made by Councilmember Miller and seconded by Councilmember Hilliker. Minutes were approved by voice vote. Treasurer's report. A question was asked about reading the report. The recorder treasurer replied that the report was nothing but a bunch of numbers. The report will be posted at City Hall after approval. A motion to accept the treasurer's report was made by Councilmember Raines and seconded by Councilmember Draper. The report was approved by voice vote. Committee reports. Motion to accept committee reports was made by Councilmember Miller and seconded by Councilmember Raines. The reports were approved on voice vote. Old business. Mayor DeLaire presented his veto of ordinance 2025-21. He asserted that the creation of the nominating committee was another overreach of the council. Councilmember Miller mentioned that there has been committee vacancies for well over 2 years. A motion was made by Councilmember Miller and seconded by Councilmember Draper to override the veto. The motion passed unanimously by roll call vote. Mayor DeLaire presented his veto of resolution 2025-33. He believes he is not required to sign motions, resolutions, and ordinances he does not consider legal. The motion was made by Councilmember Miller and seconded by Councilmember Turner to override the veto. The motion passed by roll call vote 8-0. Ordinance 2025-19 was read for the third time. This ordinance sets a policy for retention of public meeting recordings. The motion was made by Councilmember Miller and seconded by Councilmember Yancey to approve the measure. The ordinance was passed unanimously by roll call vote. Ordinance 2025-22 regarding revised boat dock ordinance 93-13 was read for the second time. The recorder treasurer noted changes that were made since the first reading. The motion was made by Councilmember Miller to suspend the rules and read the ordinance a third time. There was no second. The mayor brought up resolution 2025-28. The recorder treasurer objected since this resolution is old settled business. The mayor stated that the city seal, which was used to attest to this resolution, belongs to the mayor according to 14-43-401. The mayor brought up his veto of the council's vote of no confidence. The recorder treasurer asserted that the mayor cannot veto a no confidence vote. The city attorney agreed but suggested the council allow the mayor to read it anyway, which he did. New business, budget. A first draft of the 2026 budget was submitted at the finance meeting. A few changes were made since, and the revised working document was included in the council packet. Resolution 2025-34 was introduced by the recorder treasurer. This resolution is in response to Arkansas legislation requiring an artificial intelligence policy. The resolution along with the policy was read by the recorder treasurer. A motion was made by Councilmember Raines and seconded by Councilmember Hilker to approve the resolution. The motion passed by voice vote. Sheriff contract. Israel County Sheriff's Office has offered a one-year extension at no monthly increase in cost. The mayor requested a breakdown from Sheriff Melton. Committee vacancies. A listing of committee applicants and their qualifications was included in the council packet. The mayor offered to contact applicants. Public comments. Caden Wise and a few other scouts recited the scout oath. Caden spoke about all the scouting activities he participates in and enjoys. Ian Circalo spoke about how he loved being a scout leader and the value of scouting to the community. Nicole Sherrill spoke about promises made to the Scout Troop 640 and compared the use of the Scout building to the Chamber of Commerce's use of their building. She also delivered packets to the recorder treasurer containing a petition and other background information. Stephen Wagner, Scouting District Executive, spoke about the need for healing in the Horseshoe Bend community. James Floyd stated that scouts were never sent away. They went away on their own and the building was vacant for quite some time. Raul Johnston talked about the stacking of committees and illegal appointments of committee members by the mayor. Diane Belvecchio asked who paid the expenses for the chamber building. Councilmember Hilker responded that the chamber pays for all utilities and expenses. Councilmember Hilker announced the chamber trunk or treat at Crown Point RV Park Thursday, October 30th. A motion to adjourn was made by Councilmember Dawson, seconded by Councilmember Miller. Motion passed by voice vote. Meeting adjourned at 7:45 p.m.
Motion that we accept the minute.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say the same. Minutes are passed. Treasurer's report.
Yeah, I'll just make the same comments I made at finance that the expenses and revenues are quite a bit higher than a normal month, but most of that is due to a bunch of a big batch of credit card transactions that got lumped into this month, so.
Any other comments? Questions about the treasurer's report? Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report as given?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote on this, please.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilker,
Yes.
Councilmember Turner,
Yes.
Councilmember Raines,
Yes.
Councilmember Vickers,
Yes.
Councilmember Dawson,
Yes.
Councilmember Draper.
Yes.
Treasurer report passed. Committee reports. Everybody get a chance to look at the committee reports. Any comments, corrections, or suggestions about the?
On the top of that page, Jim Swicka's name spelled wrong.
First. Which one is that?
The
Monthly report.
Is it Eric?
Two lines on one end,
SAW.
SAWI.
Just the correct, yeah, okay.
All right, any other corrections? Changes or suggestions? Do I have a motion to accept the committee reports with the one change?
I'll make a motion.
That makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say the same. Committee reports are accepted. Old business, sheriff's contract.
I didn't see any issues with the breakdown. I thought it looked good to me. I don't know what everybody else saw, but
Any other comments, suggestions, changes?
That looks good.
I make a motion, we accept the contract.
That makes a motion to accept. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second?
Sean did, so did Jeff, so I'll just take Sean. Sorry, didn't.
That's fine. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilliker,
Yes.
Councilmember Turner,
Yes.
Councilmember Rains,
Yes.
Councilmember Vickers,
Yes.
Councilmember Dawson,
Yes.
Councilmember Draper. Please, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, sheriff's contract passes. Ordinance 2025-22 regarding vote docs, third reading.
Okay, ordinance 2025-22. An ordinance authorizing the city of Horseshoe Bend to promulgate, regulate, and enforce standards regarding construction of boat docks, boathouses, and similar structures on lakes owned and operated by the city of Horseshoe Bend. Whereas there have been several meetings and discussions regarding this subject, now therefore be it enacted and ordained by the city council of the city of Horseshoe Bend, Arkansas, to wit. Section 1, the rules and regulations as prescribed by the city of Horseshoe Bend and which are hereby attached are adopted by reference and made part of this ordinance. Section 2, these rules and regulations referred to in section 1 may be subject to revision and change from time to time at the discretion of the city of Horseshoe Bend City Council by majority vote. Section 3, all provisions of section 6 of the municipal code of the city of Horseshoe Bend, Arkansas regarding real property may apply to these structures on or in proximity of any of the lakes referred to in the rules and regulations which are owned and operated by the city of Horseshoe Bend. Section 4, violation of any of the city of Horseshoe Bend rules or any section of this ordinance will be subject to the enforcement and penalties as prescribed in section 516 of the municipal code. Section 5, when issuing dock permits, the building committee should apply these rules and regulations, but must also take into consideration the size of the bay and the effect the proposed dock might have on surrounding properties. Section 6, and this ordinance being necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, and safety, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and the same shall be in full force and effect immediately after its passage.
Okay, I want to go forward with this and do the vote, but I actually skipped the committee nominations and approvals. That's my fault. We'll go back to that after we do the vote on this, since we just did. All right, so any comments, changes to resolution 20, or no, the vote docs, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm getting lost here. Okay.
That was right on my agenda, the way you read it.
Right, my mistake. All right, any changes or any comments on the vote docs? All right, all those in favor, please
I think
signify.
I need to get a motion.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody make a motion.
Do I have a motion?
I move we accept the ordinance.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say the same. Vote docs passed. Okay, now we're on to nominating committees. Sorry, my mistake. Well, you can jump ahead.
So I'll just state what was the results of the nominating committee meeting. The nominees pushed forward by the nominating committee for planning committee are Scott Schuett, Ray Burnett, Doug Wendling, Lori Kunzman, Cindy Parson, and Uriah Mead. The members put forward for zoning and adjustment are Ray Burnett, Cindy Parson, Don Holder, and Scott Schuett. For the building committee is Dwayne Hale. For the airport committee, Paul Woodside, James Floyd, Eric Secretan, Doug Wendling, Jim Sawicka, and Scott Schuett. And then for MSID is Jeff Rains, David Delvecchio, and Lori Kunzman.
Okay, since everybody was on the nominating committee, I'm assuming that you all want these people, so we should do roll call vote. Should we do it by committee or should we do all of them at once?
I think it depends on the motion. I think if somebody makes a motion to do all of them, do it, that'd be a little quicker.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the nominees on these committees?
Jeanette makes a nomination or motion.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
John seconds. Okay, yes, we'll call the methods.
Councilmember Miller,
Yes.
Councilmember Hilliker,
Yes.
Councilmember Turner,
Yes.
Councilmember Raines.
Yes.
Councilmember Vickers,
Yes.
Councilmember Dawson,
Yes.
Councilmember Draper.
Yes.
Okay, committee members are accepted. Congratulations. Okay, now we're to new business. Resolution 2025-35 mileage rates.
Millage.
So just so everybody understands, I think there were some people that misunderstood that this is actually approving the millage that we've already collected for 2025. We can't go up if we wanted to, but the counties need to have something documented so they know what to pull out when they're doing their sales tax. So it's required to do this resolution. So anyways, City of Horseshoe Bend Resolution number 2025-35, a resolution by the City Council of Horseshoe Bend, Arkansas, certifying the 2025 millage rates. Be it hereby resolved that the following real estate and personal property tax rates be adopted for the year of 2025 to be collected in the year 2026. Real estate millage, 5 mills, personal property millage, 5 mills. Pat, that's it. That's all.
Okay, do I have a motion to pass resolution 2025-35?
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say the same. Millage passes. Next, the building inspector issues, what are those?
Basically, since my office is one that does the collections on these permits and so on, wanted to look at what we should be doing, at least in the interim, until we have a building inspector, when and if we're gonna do one. And one option, which is actually a really easy one, is to have the building committee in charge of inspections of construction only. And then we would keep Chris Bigness doing the plumbing. And then we're hoping to be able to get the state inspector for the mechanical, which is the HVAC. But electrical ones, that's a whole different model. Well, we actually have to leave that one alone, I think, right now, because that's hard to find somebody that's certified to do that. So I was hoping that the council would at least recommend Raul, if not the whole building committee, as the inspector for construction. So we have somebody that can inspect the existing permits.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I've talked with the guy that does it at Cherokee. He's not interested. I talked in a company, they're not interested in. So where we're at with the building person, I talked with a man, Hunter Mix. He's head of CORE, COAR, which is Code Enforcement of our state of Arkansas. They're the people that are certified and have inspection licenses to actually do the inspections. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna send out an email to every one of their members and ask them if anybody's interested in taking a contract for Horseshoe Bend to do our inspections, so that we have certified people. And I don't think we should get mixed up with having anybody else like Raul, who is not certified, get involved in this stuff again, because it's just trouble. There are state inspectors available, and we can contact the state. If we need an inspection done, they can send an inspector up here that actually has an inspector's license. And I tried to get a hold of Russell today, the electrical inspector, to see if he would give us some backup until we can get somebody in here, because the state just changed the law on electrical inspectors. And now you have to have a minimum of 4 years apprenticeship before you can even apply. And then you still have to take the inspector's license on top of that. So they've made it even harder. Now, I haven't had a chance to talk to Paul, because they did say they would recognize Paul as a master electrician with over 5 years service. They would recognize him as an inspector in an interim if we needed him to, but I haven't talked with him. So that's where it's at. That email was supposed to go out, and we're looking for someone to come and actually contract the service. Now, the other thing that I was told by CORE, the president guy, The Arkansas has changed the rule now, and you don't have to be necessarily an individual. They will allow companies to do this. And he was gonna try to find, there was 3 companies that had come to Arkansas and was offering their services to do the inspections. And it's legal for you now to hire a company, and they might have 3 different people that will do 3 different levels of it. Before it had to be an individual inspector that was certified. So that's where it's at with what I've got done.
So again, the question was what to do right now at this moment when people we're holding up constructions, we're holding up people being able to finish things. Is there something we can do interim? Because you don't have to be certified to do construction. You do have to you have to have some kind of thing for HVAC, you have to have something for plumbing, you have to have something for electric, but just by base construction, you don't. So it's, the building committee could do the construction ones.
Well,
For
we're
now.
The mayor, you just said though that you can contact somebody to get somebody to do this, right?
yes, there are state inspectors
And that would be the easiest
that are
way to
supposed to be
keep us,
available for that.
keep us out of the same situation they're in.
I mean, I did talk to Russell, gosh, a week and a half ago. That's last name or first name, I don't remember. But I said, well, you do our inspections for us. He said, his first answer was no, but he said, we haven't been in the area, or if you have a few of them at once, whatever, to make it worth our while. That's the answer I got from him. So at that time, maybe it's changed since then, but that's what he said when I asked him. And that was specific to electrical, obviously, so.
Right. Yeah, the electrical's the hardest part of it, because they really changed that.
Building committee is the one that issues the building permit, right?
Right.
They're the ones that also check for offsets and any variance they need and so forth, pass it on to the variance committee. So they would be the ones involved.
Well, if you're gonna do the building committee and you want an inspector, then I think you should do David DeVecchio, because he's a builder. Brell hasn't built anything. David DeVecchio's been a builder his whole
I
life.
wasn't necessarily saying any individual. I was saying the committee as a whole ought to be the ones that would reach out to Little Rock to get someone to do the inspections. That's all I was saying.
But yeah, the committee can certainly do that.
Because
If
they'll be aware of
we
the,
have pressing
permits.
stuff right now that has to be done.
I think there's 16 permits that are active right now, so.
How many electrical?
That we either, because the alternative, and this is the other thing that Russell said was, or you just do it, forget it altogether and pretend you're rural. And then nobody gets a permit and nobody gets inspected. You just rely on,
Well, you can't.
yeah, actually you can. It's stupid, but you can. But because like you said, what happens if you're, this is his example. If you lived 1 mile outside of Horseshoe Bend, what would you do? You would call an electrician, the electrician would come and do it, and that would be it. There's no permit to pull, there's no nothing. And he said, if you don't have anybody that can inspect it, then you can't issue a permit. So again, this is just electrical. But I kind of like the idea of at least some kind of inspection. So I don't.
How's that stupid if you have a qualified electrician?
Well, I'm just saying is, everybody should always have a qualified electrician doing it. We still did, you still inspect it usually. If you're in the city, you do.
The
So,
problem wasn't having qualified electricians do it. The problem was we have people doing electric in Horseshoe Bend that are not qualified. That's what created the big
But are
problem.
those people even really paying for this? Probably not. They're not getting inspected in.
So, yeah, I mean,
A plumbing inspector takes an 8-hour class, has to go inspect plumbing from a master plumber.
yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, I was a plumbing inspector.
Well, the good thing is Chris has been wonderful with volunteering his service to do the plumbing stuff.
I did it for years. I'm the one who went with him.
He stayed on top of that, so the plumbing's not.
I just think it's silly that-
Electric and the other stuff is.
I guess I have a question. So if you're sending this stuff out through or whatever you said, was there a number put with it? Because obviously we can only pay them whatever you collect on a permit. So do they know they're only gonna get paid $40 or whatever?
What I put
inspection
was,
is?
it was a city contract and it was on a per inspection basis.
Mhm.
So I'm waiting for them to give me what they would want to do that. I think it's gonna depend on how far they have to come.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, because if someone's certified, driving here for $40 probably isn't in their, you know, they're probably not gonna drive here, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I
And the
think
more I
they,
read about it, it looks like they're a lot into, like home sales inspections, not building inspections. But that was just a quick read.
I think if you contracted with a company or even one of these certified people, they'd set it up where they were doing more than one at a time.
Right.
I mean, we had a
But I'm saying,
luxury.
like, would it surpass what you're collecting on a permit?
Probably.
And
If
so
it
that's
does,
the thing,
then
then
we
you have
have
to
to raise
revisit
it.
and change all your permit fees again. Just to
Well,
suffice
we may
what
have
you're
to
doing.
do that to get certified people. Yeah, that's an option, but we don't have figures yet to actually do that.
How many certifications did Guy have?
I'm not sure Guy had any more than, I think he was in plumbing. I don't think he had electrical.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he was certified at all.
You said you had,
Has any of our inspectors ever been
I
certified?
don't think, not for electric, I don't think we've ever had one.
probably not. Well, if we could get Paul to do the electrical and then work on the others.
I agree, but
I think
I know.
Hank had,
Paul's one of them.
I think Hank had his electrical. Hank did
Who?
several years ago. He had,
Who?
like Hank, it's been years ago.
I just want to throw out there that, this is a very serious situation, this letter that came from,
Yep.
the Arkansas, Department of Labor and Licensing Board of Electrical Examiners. And it brings up that, if you start totaling up the amount of fines, it's a lot that the city could be facing here. I suggest either the council as a whole make this decision or the mayor make this decision. Y'all voted no confidence in the mayor, but he does seem to have a good grasp of the electrical situation and need to have somebody, not what we had previously.
I think we all have the same grasp for electrical now that we have a letter. Prior to this, the contract that was discussed earlier with Dan Robinson had no mention of electrical certification, had plumbing and HVAC. So that kind of reflects that the mayor wasn't really looking into the electrical certification at that time. And that was in August of 23. That contract was entered into by the mayor.
And he didn't renew it.
He didn't cancel it, he allowed it to continue also,
No, not really. I mean,
until
No,
recently.
no, he called me, he even called me and I told him, I said, look, you don't have any responsibility for Dan at this point. He's operating without a contract.
23, August, 23 of 24, I mean,
You do what you
24
want.
August.
I'm not
is when
gonna
the
argue
contract
the point.
ended.
I'm just making a
I'm just pointing out
suggestion. And either y'all do it or the mayor do it. One of y'all, somebody with authority here. Hand it off to a building committee, y'all. I suggest either y'all do it, find somebody with the correct qualifications, or y'all delegate it to the mayor. Just,
I mean,
Why don't you just
he's
advertise the
contract, all
position?
Contracts have to be signed by the mayor.
See if you can find somebody.
He's in negotiation with the contract.
So,
Till he breaks the contract, we can't act on the contract. But the contract has to be negotiated by the mayor.
somebody.
There is no contract.
He mentioned that he's trying to get information with people that might be interested in a contract of doing the inspections. And he just said that just earlier. But he's not registered those people, haven't found out who might be entering in that contract. Doesn't know how far they're, as Rice said, how far away these people might be. There's a lot of variables that we have not known and the mayor does not know yet. Am I right? You're trying to find the contracted person available?
We need somebody in here to, so we ain't same situation.
I'm trying to
That's
find-
that's what needs to be done. He's already looked into it, he said.
And I'm trying to find somebody certified so that we don't get into this mess. But if it's in terms of who wants to be responsible, I think the council, you should do whatever you want to do. Because I'm sick of you blaming me for all of your stuff.
Yeah, Brian.
Interesting.
Yeah, Brian. Not interesting, fact. That contract's been gone for a long time, and there's other people that should be on contracts that aren't, so they're actually city employees. So it'd be interesting to see if they get hurt in the job or something, because they're not contracted employees.
Oh, I don't speak right now.
But you do what you want. All I told you is exactly what I did. I went by the rules through this organization that have the certified people. And yeah, it probably will cost us more money to get somebody to come in and do that. I don't know, but I don't think we have a choice.
What we have open now, you stated that the state will come at no charge and do the inspections we call. Correct.
The state has state inspectors. Now, whether they're gonna come up here every time you call them for an inspection, call them, you find out. I mean, the issue is he feels it's important that we have to do this now. We do need to do it now, but
How can
We
we do
also
it now
have
if we
to
don't
do-
have an inspector?
Right.
We don't have a contractor. How do we do it right now?
well, the point is you can't do it right now.
Okay.
So you have to wait on it, or you can, I guess, delegate somebody else to do it, whatever you wanna do.
Go rule till you figure it out. Just saves your.
Just restating what I was suggesting, and I don't have a dog in the hunt, I don't care. I just want to know what to do. Is the construction part of it, the building committee themselves can do. That's not a, trade related thing. We can continue to have Chris do the plumbing. And we're pretty sure that the state inspector for HVAC who lives in Cherokee will do the inspections for the HVAC. So the only thing we can't do right now at this moment with that solution is electric.
How many of the permits or inspections are electrical that we have currently? So there's 16. How many
There were
are
16, I think all but 2 had some electric.
14?
I think it'd be good for the mayor and the building committee to get together and work together on that. I think the council needs to let the building committee that we elected and the mayor work, I mean, he's working on the contracts and stuff, I think.
Bring us something.
Yeah.
He makes contracts, we approve.
That's right.
I'll get it to you as quick as I can.
And find out something we can get done, because we can't be in a standstill here and getting nothing done.
You're welcome to work with us, basic folks, in a.
All right, so I'm assuming that I'm still in contact with Core, and as soon as I hear something, I can let you know, if that's what you want me to do.
Yes, sir.
Is there a motion to that?
I like that.
All right, we have a motion for me to be in contact with Core to locate a certified person to do these inspections. All right. All those in favor certify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say the same. Motion passes.
Can I ask a question real quick? If the mayor presents a contract, you guys gonna accept it? Because you guys have already voted no confidence on him, so if he brings it.
See the contract for which they signed already.
I mean,
We accepted his garbage contract and you see what he does every day on
Yeah.
Facebook telling us how council raised the rates because we accepted his contract.
You guys can accept one.
I'm just- it
That's
depends
why,
on-
and that's why,
I guess it depends on what we get presented.
I guess that's my question is why, I'm not starting something, I'm asking the question, why wouldn't you guys just take it over and then not have to worry about the mayor? I'm just saying, the council could have very well, like Brad said, I mean, the council could have done
But
it.
we didn't. We made.
You're right. They right.
They should have done
That's
that.
fine.
They've asked.
I kind of think, we put y'all on the building committee to know what needs to be done, to go to him, find out if we get these contracts.
If he does a good job, then maybe
Yeah.
change that vote or no.
But then when I see on Facebook that we're pieces of shit for passing all these garbage contracts, exactly, that was his contract.
It wasn't my contract.
Yes, it was, you presented it.
No, the garbage people presented it.
You negotiated that with them.
No, I negotiated, and I told you, I negotiated the extra dumpster so people could get rid of that kind of garbage.
Right, that is part of the contract.
That was,
You presented a contract.
and that's
You
all
presented the
I
contract.
negotiated. No, the company presented the contract. He was right here and did it for you guys.
And you made changes to it.
No, the only change I made. was-
You made changes to
And
it.
I told.
They present a contract every 5 years. Y'all have to come to an agreement and then bring it to council, correct? I've been through it for 15 years,
Well, you may be through it for 15 years, but you voted on that contract.
right? That
I
you
didn't.
that you Come to an agreement with them on,
No,
over
I-
the extra dumpster.
I did the extra dumpster, that's it.
How do you negotiate a contract?
I did the extra dumpster.
Ask for what you want, say, okay, the rest is fine?
You can argue all you want to, but you voted on the contract. I changed the dumpster, that's it.
Because you presented the contract and you felt fair.
You want to out there trash it out. Accept it. Anything else with the building inspector issues?
They didn't have to vote on it.
No, they didn't have to vote on it without talking to the mayor first.
Anyway.
Okay. Moving along, I guess the BS proposal is the Boy Scout proposal.
I was wondering what that meant.
I believe it's the Boy Scout proposal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Boy Scout proposal.
That's,
No.
I thought it was.
Scouting America.
All right, so
We
They put it on there, but they
presented one
didn't
the
finance, so
same,
I had to push it forward.
we presented one that was the same as the contract that the Chamber of Commerce had. It was responded to by Uriah Mead, and stated that the leaders got together and did not want to go forward with the contract as presented. And he brought a different proposal. Do you have that? Were you prepared to present that tonight?
Yeah, I emailed it to you. You said you were gonna get it out to everyone, so I assumed everyone would have had. read it by
I
now.
emailed it to everyone, mayor, everybody.
I guess I'll speak on it real quick. When us as leaders got together, we didn't feel that the contract proposed was,
Could you come to the mic in case somebody at home wants to hear you? I'm sorry. I just-
speaking with the leaders of the Boy Scouts, we felt that the contract that was proposed, even though it was mimicked off of the Chamber's, lease, we didn't feel that it was similar. In fact, that the Chamber had a usable functioning building and we would have to put in extra work. And then on top of that, cover the utilities. And I'm not saying anything bad against the Chamber. They pay their utilities, that's fine. When we broke it down, we felt that at the end, after putting all of our time and effort into it, we would still be paying more than what we could just be renting the building for. So that's why we came back with the proposal that I emailed to you. And so that proposal basically was, we're asking for the upstairs portion of the community center at a $25 monthly, basically 2 meetings a month. If we meet any extra, we would be more than happy to pay extra, and we would pay that a year in advance. So that was mainly the proposal. We would work with the little theater. There's the only other group that meets up there, and we would coordinate with them if they ever needed help with doing their stuff. We would coordinate with any groups that needed to have the access up there, and we would make sure that we worked around their schedule.
The only thing I can think of that you didn't mention was we would like to have some storage room.
Oh, yes, there is a storage room upstairs that has a couple rooms in it.
Right.
And we have a couple of items that are in the Boy Scouts building that we would like to just have an area that we can lock and keep our stuff.
I have no problem with that. I just want to make sure we get everything.
I get it, you're right, but to me, that building there is a Boy Scout building. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. It's all it's always been used for. I don't know if people that's not lived around here don't know that. The ones that have, that's all it's ever been used.
It was
I
water-
agree.
It was water department first.
It was water department, yes.
And don't get me wrong, we would love to have the
Hey,
building, but we
I want you to have that building, and I think even at that, the city could pay the water department.
Mhm.
They could give that building to the Parks and Rec and the Parks and Rec are collecting fees from the people in Horseshoe Bend to help something out, and that money could be used to be paid for electricity for you. And that's my opinion. I mean, otherwise, in 5 years, that building's gonna be trash anyhow. It's never gonna get fixed up. You got people that know how to work. You got,
We also
Cheryl's.
have a lot of stuff going on right now, so like, again, the time that we would have to take away from everything we are currently doing to have to fix the building.
and you can do that at your own rate, at your own speed, if you have that building. And
But like right now
That's
the
what I-
building's not usable, so for us to take the contract right now, I mean, there's still no heat in the building,
And you
so.
said, the mayor even said Mike DeCenzo's willing to free labor, but we need to get that AC unit, heating air there for them.
Correct.
And if the city of Horseshoe can't pay their water and the Parks and Rec can't pay their
No, I mean,
electricity.
the water,
there's
the
something-
water was covered, it was the electric,
Yeah, I
and when
don't
we
think
broke
the
it
city
down.
can pay their electric.
No, we put it in the Parks and Rec to.
That is city.
The problem is there's 11,000 people that own properties here that are paying that fee.
Yeah, and that could be.
Most of them don't care if a Boy Scout building, whatever, that they don't wanna pay the.
They don't want to pay for the golf course, they don't want to pay for the lakes, they don't want to pay the fee.
If I tell this person that comes in and says, why the heck do I have to pay that fee? It's, oh yeah, never mind. And also some of it's going towards this charity thing that we have over here. That's just gonna make them mad. So that's what you have to think about everybody, not just people that live here.
I
think everybody lives here probably
about
think it's
2
a good
years
idea.
and that building's sitting there empty and we're gonna have to get something to dose it down because it's, nothing's gonna be done to it.
Well, and if the building was finished, we'll rent the building. We're not opposed to
But you-
having, paying something towards it, but again, for us to come in and rent a building that we then have to go and fix with our own labor and our money and
But you're
And
not
raise
renting it,
funds.
right? We're giving it to you. All you're having to do.
All you're
is
having to do
Right,
is fix it up.
The insurance is supposed to fix the
But-
air, heat and air.
But when we get to it, the electric's gonna cost us more than what we can rent it for, so that's where we're battling that. So it's like, right now, the building is sitting
I mean, as a
stagnant,
group.
it's $30 a month. I mean,
But a
we might as well
minimum
rent
of
it for
30
two.
bucks a month if you don't
Yeah.
turn the water on.
Well,
You know, to keep-
I'm
to
just,
keep heat.
I'm getting at, it's gonna cost us more for the
Right.
building to be our
Exactly.
own, so we would just in return rent it.
And I think it needs to be y'all's,
But it's still, it's the cheapest.
we ought to be
route.
able to help you out.
Sure, may go,
I
fee
mean-
going upstairs, but if you want your own building, I don't think electric bill's too much of a fee.
No, just, but when we only, okay, I don't know if anyone knows about Boy Scouts, but each of our kids pay $125 to BSA. We don't see $1 of that. So, I mean, we're literally having to come to everyone else and ask you guys, we don't want to have to ask anyone to pay for us. Like, we want to make our own way. So if we have to pay a fee, we'll just pay the fee. But when we only have 10, 15 kids at most, I mean, we have to do a lot of fundraising. And so when we're continuing to go around and just have to year after year, make, even if it's $50, $60, $80 a month, I mean, what's that? What can we do with that money instead of paying an electric bill? So.
Yeah.
That's what we presented. You guys are more than welcome to accept it, not accept it. I mean, it's up to you guys.
I agree with you, but I don't think you ought to have to pay that, in my opinion, but.
Well,
That's-
but
that's
then
just
again,
me.
it's back to the fairness thing. You can't not
Yeah.
charge one person and
Can't
charge the
charge-
other. And so again, we're
But in
just.
5 years, we'll see that building demolished, so.
Well,
I mean,
and that's why I said
either way.
if we went the route of using the community center, I believe there was someone interested in renting the Boy Scouts building. So maybe you go towards that and we just continue to rent it. So if we rent the upstairs of the community center, we propose something to do so. So if you guys want to look that over.
Who's gonna rent the building, Brian?
Well, Zach,
Yeah, I have not, approached that person.
you won't
It's
say
told to
anything.
me and I said, Boy Scouts got first dibs, so I didn't even enter into that. So, I'd rather not say his name till we get in to look at what he's gonna pay, what he's gonna,
Ryan, do you know what the electric bill would be?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, right now, I think it's like $30 a month. So, I mean, that's with nothing, no one in there. If we're turning the heat on, and I mean, it could be, we've already talked to North Arkansas, they've offered to kind of help us, but
we're kind of putting Uriah in a bad situation. He went to the leadership and they rejected the building proposal. And he can't by himself
I can't act on behalf of all of
act
them.
on all of them. So we,
Even though they tell me.
pushing the Boy
do
Scout
it
building
for
on
Boy
him,
Scouts.
he has a hard time making any other decision than what they did. They rejected the Chamber of Commerce similar contract.
We'll have to look over what he proposed.
And,
talk about it.
and, I sent it to all of you on an email, what he proposed to me. And
Yeah, I mean,
basically, it's the
that's-
upstairs, working in conjunction with anybody else using the upstairs. So they schedule their 2 meetings and not in conflict with anybody upstairs. The little theater was mentioned in the contract. But he also mentioned anyone else using upstairs.
And in
And
return.
all he required was a storage room that would be dedicated to them, that they would have control over their supplies.
Well, let me ask you this, Ray. Do you have an idea of what it would cost you? Like you talked about putting those tiles down in the floor. Do you have an idea, or could you come up with figures?
I know that when I presented some bids earlier, I believe all of them were similarly to the tune of around $4,000. And that was to finish the building. That was bathroom, flooring, trim, a little bit of paint. But that was obviously labor and material included. If we had to do it ourselves, I would just say, how would half of that?
And then you're, okay, so if you did it yourself, it might be half of that, and then
It
you're
might be
figuring,
less.
what, $2,400 a year, $2,000 a month for the heat?
No, not a month. I would,
You said 200.
I was gonna say, I mean, monthly, it just gonna depend. I mean, if we have our own facility, we would obviously meet more, so it's obviously gonna cost us more, but if we're renting a place, we'd stick to the 2 month, 2 meetings a month. So I mean, it really, I mean, obviously, we're in control of that, but if the building's operating at $30 a month now, well, we can rent it for 2 times and we're paying for that, so it doesn't make sense for us to, again,
Well, it makes
Just-
sense
just
for you,
asking for
it
now.
would make sense for you if the people could produce the money, right?
oh yeah.
So if you come up with a figure, you could give the community a chance to raise that money for you. And then the money would be available.
But again, then we're still back to the point of the building's unfinished, so.
Yeah.
Even in the meantime, like, okay, let us lease the upstairs of the community center for a year, we'll pay it in advance, and then. That gives you guys a year to finish the building, or do whatever you need to with the building, then we can occupy the building when this year's up. I guess that's my thing, because right now, we're still meeting at the community center, but we also don't wanna just keep showing up and doing it for free, we would like to pay our part. But at the same time, I mean, that building's useless to us right now in the shape it is, so. Until the building's fixed, there's no reason for us to, really discuss this, in my opinion, and that was what the leaders kind of concluded as well.
So I guess why did we go through all that when if it's not usable and you don't want it, like, why did they have a big blow up about taking a Boy Scout building from?
I wasn't part of that, blow up. I wasn't
I'm
here.
not saying you were, I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, they're passionate about the boys, they wanted a place to call their own,
I agree.
and now that we've seen it was
But now that we're saying
presented.
you can have it, it's like, we don't want it. We're
Okay, but
somewhere else.
you can have it under these certain stipulations, and again, if it was identical to the chamber building, where the building was 100% complete, we would probably go out and fundraise, but again, for us to have to go in and finish the building, then do all the fundraising, we're fundraising to finish the building, then fundraising to pay for the building, it's like double dipping, it doesn't feel good to me to go out and ask people to pay for us to do everything. I mean, obviously, the city or MRID did it for years, they let the boys use the building, that's kind of where the idea came from, it's like, well, they did it for them, why can't they do it for us?
Because MRID is not a city.
Chris, you had a question or your hand
I
up?
was just gonna ask Brian if you looked into what it's gonna cost to heat that upstairs. Plus you're asking kids to be on a second level and build stuff or do whatever you want to do or just have meetings. I'm just asking a question. I'm not down, I'm not.
No, so,
And then you have one that's ground level and yeah, it's gonna cost you money, but like the mayor said, you could go and have fundraisers, take time out from your, from not having a meeting. You could do a fundraiser after work and do so much in 1 month and then go in there and try and fix stuff up a little bit at a time. Like you said, once it gets to that part, you'll leave there and take the building. You know
so
what I'm saying?
what
A
we
little bit
based
at a time.
what we based our proposal on was the figures that I know were not passed, but they were the figures thrown around to rent the upstairs portion. We took that and then we asked for a little bit of a discount because we would be paying it for a year in advance. So we didn't calculate the heating or anything because I'm under the assumption that we're paying to rent the building, they're covering the heating.
It takes a lot to heat. It definitely takes a lot.
I just know that we have messy kids,
Fine.
especially after last meeting, we had marshmallows and hot chocolate everywhere. I would prefer to just have a place upstairs where there's no carpet. We can kind of be loud. If there's anyone ever there, we're not really bothering them. It just made more sense because the upstairs is used a lot less than the basement.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, because I know it takes a lot to heat that building.
Mhm.
That's one of the bad faults of that building, is how much it takes to heat and cool that building.
And I guess if we could just utilize a storage space upstairs, we could use the basement or the downstairs when no one's occupying it, but again, to kind of have a place where if there's a function, we can still go have our meeting and have a place to go.
Have you talked to Mitzi about the little theater? Was that,
No, I presented it here, but I mean, I know Mitzi and I know Cindy, and I'd be more than happy to work with them in anything.
would that interfere with anything they're doing?
Well, that's the thing, I would coordinate, so if they said, hey, we're meeting this week, I would say, okay, we'll change our date, or we'll mix it up. But I would have a year in advance, I'd come up to the new year, I would present it and say, hey, we need all these dates, and I would take it to them and make sure it worked for them before I presented it. So.
I thought John asked a good question about, why did we even, kind of start this conversation? Is there any scenario where you would want to use what y'all are referring to as
Oh, yeah,
is the old Boy Scout building?
yeah, we would love to have that building, it's just,
What's the condition.
We would probably gladly pay the electric bill if the building was in usable shape. We would probably take that was initially offered to us and pay the electric bill and have that at our own facility. But for us to do the work and then to, again, pay the premium, I would call it, even though it's not really, to some people, that would be a premium to us, so.
Pay like rent.
The electric bill, basically, that's all we would have to, that's all we were basically having to cover, so. It's either, in my opinion, let us fix the building, you guys cover the utilities, or you guys fix the building, we'll cover the utilities. I kind of think that's a give and take, and that's just my opinion, if you guys don't like that, that's okay. That's what we're working with them.
What if we propose this, that, instead of a year in advance, you're using the upstairs now, correct?
Well, we're using the downstairs.
Okay, downstairs, you're using that building, the community center.
Mhm.
So as you use the community center and pay the, fee for that, if we could obtain the volunteers as Travis presented, there's people supposed to do the work in there for free.
I've had a lot
And
of
they
people
got it,
show.
Yeah.
if they got it during that time, if they got it to where it was satisfactory, then we bring this back, same proposal, you pay an electric, then it may have a fine transition, because the work will have already been done
Yeah, it'd be a little
by
more.
volunteers, and that way it would satisfy your requirements of not having to double dip, and you would just pay the electrical and take the bill.
You're right, I already said that, he said.
So-
let's
so
put it
we-
Upstairs for a year, then in a year we could revisit.
I mean, obviously,
Well,
we're
I-
like, we don't
again-
wanna go for a year, but I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes, I mean, that's.
The year time,
I
I think it can be done quicker, where you could have the utilization of that building. If we had people step up and do the work in there like it's proposed. And that way it wouldn't be a year before you're in that building with the other proposal.
Right, so I guess my thing is how do you present that? Are you looking for volunteers to pay for the material and do the labor, or is the city gonna provide the materials? And then,
We don't know what the insurance is paying for yet, because the AC's we gotta see what they pay for, and then we have to find the difference.
well, what about the interior? I mean, there's still flooring needs to be done, the bathroom needs to be redone, like that kind of stuff. Is that gonna be put on the back
It would
of?
be two separate.
Okay. I mean, I'm all open for that. I would like to have a place that, again, we want to pay our way. We don't want everything for free.
I think if you decided to do a fundraiser legitimately as the Boy Scouts, I think you could get the money to finish that building if you want to finish it. Or if you present the money for hiring somebody to finish it, that would be your goal.
Tommy Billings, you said that we could do a golf
I
tournament.
think, I was gonna mention that, I presented the golf tournament, we could raise funds through a golf tournament for them.
It's just, again, I'm getting back to that.
We
thing.
can raise that.
I don't
we
want
can
to ask for money to finish the building
$1,000
and
or
then
something.
if we're gonna be, out asking for money to help.
No, no,
pay for it,
no,
I just-
but we could do it for you, no problem, I mean, we can reach out, and get sponsors, and I think it'd be a great, it'd be a start, you know?
That's my thing, is I don't want the Boy Scouts to be out there asking people for money to finish the building, and then a couple months later, hey, we got this building now, we gotta pay for the electric bill, can you give me money? Like, that's my thing. Obviously, we can fundraise the money, that's not a problem, but fundraising it twice is where I kinda have the issue. I wanna keep asking people, like, the Boy Scouts do a lot, but at the same time, like, I don't know, maybe that's just my morality, I don't wanna keep asking people for money for us to do whatever it is we do, but.
I hate it too, but that's part of the Boy Scouts, like you said, you don't get any money, so if you want anything,
And that's the problem, because
Yeah.
a lot of the fundraisers of the Boy Scouts host, we only get 50% of it, and it's not really good fundraisers that go over well here, so we kind of have to go and do our own thing and try to raise funds in other ways, so.
David, what did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
Have a pancake breakfast once a month. Everybody likes a pancake breakfast.
That bag, Pancake breakfast. we throw the bags, the
Yeah.
boards.
I don't think they're looking for ideas for fundraisers.
No, and that's the thing, we already have a lot on our plate, so for us to then stop and regroup, because we already have a couple months of meetings planned out, so now we have to stop and plan fundraising, and we have parents that have full-time jobs, and
How about I do this? I'll make a motion that we give you your lease agreement. I've read it. Brian sent it to me the other day, I think.
They'd be glad to.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept his lease for, I think it's $25 a meeting or a month.
be a month. And then
$25
if we-
With the storage closet,
And if we
so,
met any extra.
so we can
we'll pay
regroup
extra.
over this building. Everybody's so deeply hearted.
Has everybody had a chance to read that thing before you jump right in? I think.
I mean, I can read it if you guys want me to, I have a copy of it.
Can it wait until the next council meeting? I mean, let's discuss it, finally, let everybody read it by finance.
Hang on, we got a second.
We don't have a second, though.
I know, do what?
We don't have a second.
Well, that's right, but we do have a motion, and I believe, Brian, see you nodding over there, once there's a motion, there's no going back.
He can withdraw the motion.
So, either withdraw the motion or ask for a second, and we'll have a discussion period, and, if there's just not enough people that know enough to vote on it, I'm sure they'll voice that.
Okay, or the alternative, I guess, that Bill's raising is, do we want to vote to table the motion for 30 days and bring it up at the next meeting?
Yeah, so then we have finance committee meeting to discuss it as well. Everybody will have seen it, everybody.
It would be
there's things
beneficial
we
to
wanna
us to start
add.
at the beginning of the year. I don't want to start in the middle of the
Yeah.
month, so we'll start January if that's what you guys, pass it at the end of December, and we start fresh in January.
Okay, Donnie, would you like to rephrase your motion to, or to make the motion to bring it to finance?
I'll rescind my last motion and, make a motion that we release agreement to finance.
Okay, so we have a, Brian seconded it. All those in favor of bringing the Boy Scout, lease to finance, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, move to finance committee.
Thank you, guys.
Next thing is grant updates.
So this is, actually, I wanted to save it for the last, because the first one is one we probably expected, and that's the Arkansas Aeronautics Commission approved the 10% EIP grant, which is basically to pay back our bridge loan.
Right.
So that's been approved, and that we should get that money within the next few weeks, so that's good. That was the one we were expecting. And then I got on Thursday, I'm happy to announce that your application has been tentatively approved for funding for the fiscal year 26 state hazard mitigation grant. There are just a few more things, which basically just means I have to sign off on the direct deposits when they reimburse us, but basically this is the grant for adding the generators to the clubhouse, so that basically a safe place to go. It's high ground and someplace to go if there's a disaster, so we got approval on that, and I don't know any details on how it works, but we will have to get quotes again, because it was just basically what they call a budgetary quote we had to give them for what it was gonna cost, and that's the number they have, and it'll probably come in less than that, I would guess, so that's good news. That was it.
Okay,
We clapped at once.
public comments. Anybody have public comments that want to speak? Yes, sir.
My name is Russ Egbert. I live at 1611 Laurel Cove Drive. I am currently the treasurer for the Horseshoe and Little Favorite. I'm here representing them. What was passed out to you is a copy of the contract that we were given, or the rental agreement for the building. This was done on November 15th. I was called to come in and bring the checkbook, and I came in expecting to meet Mr. Robinson and sign the contract, and Mr. Robinson wasn't there, but his wife Autumn was there instead. No big deal to me at the time. We went in, she told us, well, if we didn't pay the money, then we would not be able to use the building that we were had scheduled for that date. Talked to her, she said she couldn't give me a receipt, couldn't give me a copy of the contract. So which kind of made me a little hesitant, but the president said it was okay, that we had to do it because the kids were expecting it. So we wrote 2 checks out, each for $100. At that time, the money was then given to Miss Robinson. I went kind of nervous about it all weekend, went into the treasurer's office and I talked to, I think, Miss Bigness. And she told me that, oh, well, Miss Robinson doesn't work for the city or for the Parks and Rec, so that she really shouldn't be doing contracts or rental agreements for, or collecting any money from the city. So I kind of got a little bit nervous. I talked to Mr. Bonapras and we had a great conversation. He told me that sometimes things like this happen. They've happened in the past, but he told me that it would be okay, that the the contract would be valid. Like reassured me, we talked about football, go Hounds. So that kind of reassured me. Miss Bigness did tell me that she would give me a call when we would get our deposit back. And I gave her my name and number, and she would also give me a copy of the contract. I didn't hear anything, so Friday I went in and talked to Miss Bigness, and she said, well, we're just getting stuff together. Mr. Vanderpass came out of his office and said, hey, would you mind if we just gave you your deposit check back? So you don't have to worry about us depositing it and then writing the check. I said, that's perfectly fine. Took that, and Miss Bigness went and made a copy of this agreement. And as I looked at it, the first thing that I saw was it says we should get $200 back. I was under the impression before that we were paying $100 for renting and $100 for the cleaning fee. And so we paid that. But then, like I said, I asked Mr. Vanderpass, I said, it says we get $200 back. And he said, no, that's a mistake. Miss Bigness offered to correct it. I said, well, you can't correct the agreement after it's been signed and approved. So, Mr. Vanderpass said, well, that's fine. If you want that money, you can take us to court. So I'm here really to take this to the court of public opinion and tell you what I think should happen. I don't think this should have ever been signed. I think this kind of, it's not really a contract. And if it is not a contract, then they should have, the county or the city should never have accepted the money. I think that this city can be made liable for a breach of contract if this contract is invalid. I think, and I don't have any problem with any of the people that I've talked to. Mr. Vanderpass and I had a great conversation. Miss Robinson was really nice. There was, some issues, but I think that the city council needs to get with the sheriff's department and possibly start an investigation on any possible criminal activity, because this could be, she's saying that she's a staff member, which is not true. She signed the document, which she's not allowed to really sign. She shouldn't be signing. And it was, even though it was accepted by the Mr. Vanderpass at his office, I think maybe somebody should start. I don't want to see her go to jail, but I do think there is something that needs to be done between her and Mr. Robinson, who are conspired to have this done. And I don't think I'm not sure it's legal. I asked Mr. Syke, he could talk about that and what he would opinion anyway. So also, I would ask that we get our money back. We would also be willing to accept any money that the council decided would be a punitive punishment for the city. We would accept that as a donation. Also, I think an investigation into the practices and principles that are not principles, but the practices and the procedures of the office of treasurer need to be looked into. If they're accepting money from somebody who's doesn't collect money from the city, I think that's wrong. I think that should have been handled already. I'm aware that Mr. Vanderpass did not know about it until after the fact. But I'm new to the city. I don't really know anybody. I try not to know anybody. I don't even want to be here. And if anybody knows me, it's like, I don't care to meet people. And so I really don't want to be here tonight, but it's something that when they made me treasurer, I took it to heart and I said, this is my job. Make sure that monies aren't spent without getting a receipt, without getting a copy of something. Like I said, Mr. Vanderpass said, no, don't worry. We will accept the contract. And yet I feel that this is a breach of contract. So with that, I think that I would ask that we would get the $200 that the contract states. I don't want to sue the city. I don't even like the thought of suing the city
So,
for $100.
sir, I've got a question. So you paid a deposit $100 and then you were using the facility for $100.
We wrote two checks.
Okay, but one was for the use and
My
one was for the
understanding,
deposit.
yes, my understanding is 100 for the deposit. Not that I agree with, but 100 for the deposit and 100 for the use of the building. Whatever the actual contract was between, because I didn't sign it, I was just there to write checks, that's all I do. So I wrote the checks, we had two members of,
Okay, well, did you use the facility
yes,
and did you get your deposit back?
and I did get the deposit back.
Okay, I think that, to me, I think that that's the way it should be.
And maybe in a perfect world, but like I said, I still think
Now, we
because
do need to look into why someone that doesn't work there.
collected the money and
Right,
put,
that's
then we
fine.
would get $2 back.
Where do you see
I
that,
don't
sir?
know why that would
That's
happen.
what I said, that was wrong with your part.
If you look at the bottom line, it reads,
But you knew that that wasn't
So
what was supposed
$200
to
after a
happen.
month.
That's how much was
my
received.
understanding and what
You
the
knew
deal
it was
was.
$100 to use it, and you knew it was $100 deposit you get back.
Correct, and that's my understanding, and what the contract was gonna be until I got the contract and I looked at it and went,
I think we can stop there and we can look into who's doing these, contracts.
that's what, this is just my, what I see. Like I said, I'd like to hear, what Mr. Sype has to say, and I would like to hear what the mayor has to say. I don't really agree with the contract and the way it's written up. It shows if we were a private use, there, I don't know how we got claimed as civic, because we're not part of the city. So how is this a civic rental and not a private rental? That's not on me. If you can rent civic, you can rent private.
I think we're getting in the weeds again.
Okay, that's fine. I'm not here to argue. Like I said, I don't really even want to be here. This is
Okay.
just something that I felt
Thanks, sir.
was required. Appreciate your time and attention.
Yeah. I'm gonna add to that.
Okay,
I will be brief, I promise. I know that the city council never voted on how much that the rent should be. Am I correct on that, for that building?
What I was thinking.
Hello?
It was
That's what I was
discussed.
thinking.
But it was never voted on, am I correct?
I think you're correct.
Okay, then all of a sudden, because Mr. Robinson said that we could use the building for that date. And then all of a sudden, right before that date, we're charged $100. This was for kids to read essays. It was not for a play. It was for one night. When I talked to his so-called secretary, which didn't know he had one, she had to call me back 4 times because Mr. Robinson would not return my calls. Mr. Vanderpass has still not returned Ms. Fuller's calls. Anyway, so all of a sudden, we're being charged $100, which we didn't know we were going to have to pay. And I don't think we'll be renting the community center because we don't have the funds to have meetings in the community center for $100 a meeting. And I don't think everyone else is being charged that.
Yeah, they are.
They-
I guarantee they are. They are being charged it. We just had a meeting there Thursday. I guarantee it was paid. I mean, hunting and fishing, that's only because council did say that was okay at the beginning of the year, or boating and fishing, whatever, so.
Well, I
Can you
will say,
show-
I will say that we had a function when my father passed away. We paid the $200, but I got no contract, I got no receipt. I paid cash. I still haven't got the deposit back, so.
Can you show me on your line items where you have donations for that building?
Maybe.
On your line item for your.
Where the
treasury
revenue
report?
is, I don't think we break it out separately. It's part of
Why?
the correct.
I don't think you can do that as a city, but okay. Because you're not getting the same for everyone who uses that building. No, he's not.
Well, before him, some of y'all never paid. But we did.
Whenever
Yeah.
I get involved, it
You
gets
don't know
paid.
about that, do you?
That's the policy. County Commissioner.
Actually, on the rent, that was for use of the building and cleaning.
We cleaned it ourselves.
No, you didn't.
We
Yes,
cleaned
no,
it.
you didn't.
We cleaned it.
Yes,
I
we did.
clean the community center every week. And when
Look.
I went in there, the chairs were a mess, the tables were still folded up and they weren't put back where they belong. The chairs weren't put back where they belong. The
When
floor,
we used it for the children, we cleaned
That's
it
it.
before we used it. And it was clean when they got,
did you
you
put
got
the
it back.
tables back where they belong?
No, because
No.
Dan said I
No.
didn't have to.
So there
Did
you
put the
go.
chairs back? No.
No, Dan said leave it like
Well,
it is.
I clean it every Monday and every Tuesday.
Well,
So it was not,
and putting things
it
away
was not.
are two
clean.
different
We
things.
weren't told
It was
to put that
completely
back. We
clean.
were told to have it clean and I went in and vacuumed it.
I clean it every week, so I know that.
Okay,
See, this is what has to stop about pointing fingers each time. Need to just get things taken care of.
Well,
All
we've
right,
been
so-
saying that for a long time, but you keep mouthing off and y'all keep pointing fingers. You're the one pointing fingers.
No, you guys are.
No.
Just stop, just stop.
Both of
You stop.
okay,
How about both are?
we need to grow up here and stop.
Well, you need to stop things when they get out of hand.
I'm trying to do that, but I try to let everybody speak. I don't want to just cut people off. You can roll your eyes all you want. I mean, I don't care. Wonderful.
So
One more time.
Okay.
Oh, one more
See,
time.
that's being very smart
Yeah,
for
you're
a
a very
mayor.
good leader right now.
You're
Very
sitting
I
in
am.
the rear and you're being smart.
Okay, let's
Yep.
move on. Let's move on.
All right, so this is where we're at with this. You asked for an investigation. Actually, the mayor's supposed to do that in the city when somebody has a problem and asks for an investigation. I will do that. I will tell you that I've sent an email to the city attorney because we had a FOIA request asking for the booklet on this center. When Charlie ran the center, there was a booklet and everybody who rented it was written into it. Anyways,
And
that,
the answer to that was that there were no records of any any receipts for the month of October. Is that right?
Before didn't
That
exist
was
at
the
the time,
answer.
correct.
Yeah, does it now? Is there?
I'm not sure, it might now, because now the month's closed out, but didn't exist at the
It
time.
didn't exist at the time, okay. So you did FOIA, is that right? Who did the FOIA?
no, Diane's not here.
I did not do
Linda
the
did
FOIA
the
for
FOIA.
that, no.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
she's
tell
not here that did the FOIA.
the lady that did the FOIA to send it, again, but in the words that she used to begin, with, not the the response that.
Well, a book needs to be kept. There needs to be a cash receipt journal, and nobody that works for the city should be there collecting money.
We all know that. That's why we need to look into it. and
So,
get involved.
That's the real issue, how it went. And you can think about this at the next finance committee, but in reality, how Charlie and I ran it, if it was a community service that was being done and they weren't making money, we didn't charge them money for that building. 7 kids standing up and reading what they're thankful for is no reason to charge a group of people money for that building. Okay, when they did a play and they made money, yes, we charged them.
Yeah.
When my wife and them put on a craft show and they made money, yes, we charged for the building.
Wait, hold on, I wanna speak up here. No. Carol and I put that craft show on for MRID. We even paid for our own 2 spaces there, but every cent that was made was turned over to Charlie McDaniels, and he will tell you that.
Okay, so
And the
that,
last bunch of money that we gave to him, the last show that we had there, we asked if he would spend some of it on signs that said community center that have been taken down.
right, that's right, I do remember that. Anyways, I'll look into it and I'll write up a report and I'll make it available to people and we'll find out why there isn't a cash journal and why this log isn't being kept up. Because there was a log and it was written down who did what and whether people were charged or not. Because there was anniversaries that were held up there. We charged them for a private function like an anniversary. But for the community, people that are doing stuff for the community, this is my opinion. You guys can decide on your own. I don't think we should charge community groups if they're doing something for the community. And it's a free presentation to the community. If you're making money, then we should get a piece of that money. Because that building sits there for how many days? And we heat it and we have electric in it. It's not getting any cheaper by saying you can't use it. Anyways, any other comments under public comments?
I had 2 things that were not on the agenda, that won't jump long, don't worry. The first one is I have been in, last time I talked about the roof and I don't want everybody to get alarmed, but and the mayor has been in contact with the roofing company now. It's just been talking so far, but they are saying they're going to finish and we're getting through some paperwork and stuff like that, so wanted to know that Last meeting I said it was crickets, and it was at that time, but we have talked since. And then the other thing I wanted to do was in our original schedule for meetings at the beginning of the year, we had a big asterisk next to December 22nd, thinking that's Christmas week. We probably want to change that. So I'm thinking anybody, my suggestion would be the Thursday before, but that's just my suggestion. That's the 18th. It's 1 week after finance. So just, I guess we kind of have to decide that now because we don't have another meeting, so. What are people thinking about changing the meeting?
I'm good with 18.
18th? Is that the Thursday? Yes, it's a Thursday. Okay, so do we have a motion to change the last meeting of the year to the 18th of December?
I'll make that motion.
Donnie makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second it.
Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say the same. Okay, the meeting is changed to the 18th. All right, so just to finish up on the roof, yes, I have talked to the roofing people. They had no intention of not doing the roof. What happened is, in them changing their person down here that represented the company, they thought one person had ordered the roofing materials. The guy that took the job thought the other person had ordered the materials. The materials have been ordered, they're going to be delivered. The company does have an issue though, because MRID still owes them $11,000 that hasn't been paid on those roofs. And the roofs they've completed for the city, we owe $12,000 that hasn't been paid for them. What I said to them was, when the materials are delivered to the library, since they already have $57,000 that we gave them, then we would send them the balance on the 2 checks that we actually owe them, and they will finish the roofs. Now, there was an issue with the skylights on the airport, and mainly because their crew doesn't want to cut that fiberglass skylight. It was ordered, it's too big, and it needs to be cut. So I do have a company that's going to take a look at that and see what they have to do to cut those lights and put those skylights in. And it'd be the same as whatever we're going to pay them, because they deducted, I think, 500 and some odd. It seems kind of light to me, though. I don't know. Doesn't that seem light to you for skylights? Well, the lights have already been bought and they're already. I'm talking about the price. I would have thought it would be more than that to do the skylights. That's all. I don't know.
All we do is get bid and see.
Yeah, the main thing is they just need to cut them and fit them in because they don't fit where they're supposed to go.
And I think if we're, well, of course, y'all already had a contract, I guess. If they have to get paid when all materials are delivered?
Well, they get the first run of money once the materials are delivered. And I know we had cut them a check for $57,000. They really shouldn't have got that till the materials were at the library. And I'm assuming you thought the materials were coming. Basically, the contract says a week before, and he said they were on their way. That's what well, I don't know how they could be on their way within, I think he might have said 2 weeks, but he didn't say anything longer than that. And it's been how many months since April? How we had actually done it, we didn't pay them until the materials were on the ground. And it was a screw up of the company because the 2 different people were ordering the material. That's why the materials didn't get sent here. But the materials have been ordered, the materials are gonna come, they're gonna finish the library. They're also gonna finish the recycling building over here. We're gonna pull those vents off the top. They're gonna put the ridge from the fire department building on there and seal that roof, because we don't need those ridges now that we have heating in that area. And I already have grant money to cover that, so the grant money will pay for that. So the building roofs are getting done and they are gonna get straightened out, and the company will honor everything that we have to do. So just to clarify, so everybody understands, the insurance pays right up front up to the depreciated amount, and then there's an amount that gets done that you get when you're finished. And I told, again, back in April, told me, I can't pay you the rest of these things until we get paid. So you have to fill out the certificates of completion. I even gave him a blank one. And he never filled them out. That's why they didn't get paid for the city part. I can't speak for the MRID part, but that's why they haven't gotten the rest of their money from the city, because we didn't get it. We can't pay them till we get it, so. Yes, Bill.
Where are we at on the Bart building?
On what building?
The Bart building, the cart shed? Have y'all run the ad back in the paper? Y'all got?
I don't know. We didn't run one yet, no. I don't know that that was what was resolved, so I didn't.
We don't have an inspector, so we don't need to worry about it yet.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
To that one.
Oh.
You all right?
Have a good holiday.
I think you'd be willing to think.